Okay, so you can see this is my number four. Is the kind of the print, the wording is a little bit wear out. So this is my number four is a filbert. So the side kind of round off, and then the square tip. So I'm gonna use this for lay-in. I'm using it 16 by 20. So number four it can work for the drawing part of it. But if I'm using a larger canvas, maybe like 18 by 24, I might use a larger brushes to lay in. But so this is my laying brush for today. So not too wet. Like I said, since the canvas already have a wash, so you see how you drag nicely. Okay, same idea as the comb. Looking for my silhouette, how my silhouette carry on to. Again, everything has a gesture that flow carry on to those fingers, the shoulder right here. Actually, here's the tricky part because she got such a full hair and little bit hard to see what's going on. So again, that diagonal relationship that I use look for vertical, like despite all the curly hair, just look for um, that edge or that directions, not edge, directions coming down. We can come back and curve it later. See how that relates. Get a sense of where the back of her craniums, where the back of her neck. Again, since you can't really see, it's something that you have to kind of try to visualize through where the back of the neck, and because that's where the spine is gonna gonna come out. The spine is gonna fall right from the back of the neck. Looks like his spine is right there. I know it feels a little. Well, it doesn't matter. I can come back, probably fix it. I was gonna say it feels a little wide, but it's okay. I'm gonna raise the hip a little, just a little bit higher, because I feel like I'm actually was talking. I forgot to do the frame, so it looks like am I gonna get cropped? Well, if that happens, I'll just let it crop. And so here is a. Again, I think that hip should kick out a little more. Again, you get that balance, that rhythm. So so in this case, this swing back this way, this kicks out. Again, I did that in my sketch. I mentioned that in my sketch. I probably should turn this line in a little bit. This front of her stomach come in like this, or swing back. So I'm actually looking at this negative space right here. I kind of want them to kind of unify back in like this, so it becomes this oval shape. Okay, so I always like to start with the darkest color or darkest value, in this case, darkest value first. So I think you can see there's, in the hair, are pretty dark, but then I want to keep it transparent. So again, I'm gonna just do a wash, not too much paint on my brush. So I want to keep it transparent. Got some shadow on the front of her neck. Blocking some of the dark or some of the landmark. I feel like I need to, for example, maybe here, help me get a sense of where the both thighs meet and where her hip area, because I might need to adjust, because somewhere in here I'm still not quite happy with, so I might come back and fix that shape. Okay. So let's put down the shadows. So obviously the shadows, I got a little bit on this side, and also in the one at the spine and also the hip, and they not pure black. They have some of the, you can feel there's some of the reflected light into that shadow. So I'm gonna add a little bit of white. I could have, since I'm working with a grayscale, so I could have just mix everything out like grayscale, but I'm just gonna kind of work my way out. Too much paint, again, wipe out a little bit. Oops, too light. That's better. My idea of painting is that if I like to use, I guess, the minimum strokes to suggest the planes and also suggest a value. In that case, the way to do it, you need to use a brush that's large enough to cover cover that area. If I'm going to work in here, I need a brush that's maybe about that size, or maybe even bigger, probably even bigger, about this size, right? But then if I work into here, smaller area, or the faces, then I might want to use something in this size. Right? Obviously, you don't paint the whole thing with the small brush that you have, because again, what happens ends up you're just going to start scribbling and it ends up you're not thinking about the plane so much. You start just basically, it becomes too much of a texture of the brush strokes, and then it's not suggesting not suggesting a value, volume, or not suggesting a form. Okay. I switched to my sable because I'm gonna blocking just a little bit of the features. So what I'm gonna do now, since most of her body is in halftone and light, I will paint that. Just I want to get a sense of how the whole relationship of the light, like what you see here, the whole light of the torso, and then I will paint the background and use the background to kind of sculpt out my silhouette to bring the whole figure out. Um, Today if I have if I have more shadows, if the model has more shadow, obviously I might paint the background before light. But since this pose has so much halftone and light, I think I would do that first. So and obviously I'm gonna come over, grab a bunch white. Now I'm kind of making any gradations. See, that's why you need a big palette. Imagine when we're working into a color, then you need, like I said, all this place is going to use it up for, shift to color temperature, shift, color intensity. So, like I said, you need a large palette to, so able to expand those variations. You want to start off maybe a little too light than too dark because again, while you start scribbling and blend, it's going to get a little bit darker, but maybe not that light. There we go. You see how when you scribble in, it's going to get a little bit darker, which again, I can use that. For the top of that shoulder plane. And notice when I paint, I sculpt the plane. Notice my brush still, we can notice I chisel a lot, chisel the plane. It helped me to, again, keep my proportion a little more in tune. Instead, I started, getting too crazy and then ends up my drawing gets, goes off and I'm not thinking about the structures.